trades in one go. That's how I am in my trading. Oh, please don't tell me I lost all the colors. Fuck you, mom. Oh, fuck. Shit. Ah, we're here. Yeah. So you can have another attempt soon on this. I'll map it out. Yeah, I got told out. Fucking madness. This market. Let's do SHIB as well. We'll throw SHIB in there. So I'm not gonna do too many alts. I mean, they're all gonna be the same thing anyway. Am I still in SHIB? I'm gonna check. No, I'm still in SHIB. No, I'm not out of SHIB. SHIB was a stop loss above here. I'm still. I haven't checked my account. I just enter. I haven't checked. As long as my validation has been hit, I got alert for Litecoin as a break even. No, SHIB's working out nicely. Oh, you're still in. Sorry, I misread that. My bad. But yeah, these ones I think are gonna get fucking trashed. I think. Well, let's just do the main ones. I'll give you my reasoning, and I need a VIX chart. Bear with me. Let me get the VIX chart out. So FX is looking beautiful. I like the Aussie one. I haven't traded Aussie in a while, but that's because FX has been particular. I did say Euro Aussie, but the Euro Aussie, I think it's a bit. It's I think due to the way the market is and global shit. That same correlation I used to see isn't as. It will come back, but it isn't as nice or smooth as it used to be. It just goes come back in sync, you know. But right, let's start. Let's get the recorder. Let's switch this off. Get the recorder going. So again, crypto first. Bitcoin is going to be the main ones, okay? And then we'll do the rest. So one last audio visual check. Everybody hear me? And what chart can you see? Just double checking because I closed something and put it back on. It has affected it in the past. Well, let's go. We look at a couple of Ethereum charts first. Bitcoin should have been back in, even if my phone posts mainly off my phone. If I go, it's because my dealers come, so I have to go see my dealer in 15 minutes. I'll be right back. We'll all take a line together. No, get back to normal. I'm only joking. Half joke, maybe real, who knows? But yeah, yes, it's a joke for those messaging. But this guy, well, if I'm bullet this guy, let me know. We can sort you out if you like. Dylan knows me too well. Fuck you, Dylan. You're out of me here. Right, let's continue. Okay. Now, before traveling, I'm getting this. If anybody knows, right, or one more thing, you know what? You get those computers, monitors with a computer built in, just a monitor, right? If anybody can recommend me that one, can DM it to me. And ideally, if they've got a case for it, I can travel. I don't like laptops; they're too small. We don't want one of the big screens and shove in my suitcase. Got a decent sized suitcase, but a computer built in. If anybody knows of one, or can send me a link. I tried the one at Z Twitter, the main feed. DM it to me. I'd be really appreciative. Thank you. But anyway, let's start with this. Right, legends, welcome to the crypto and FX review. So 2 in 1. We'll start with crypto first. Do a detailed breakdown of Bitcoin. That will tell us what the rest of the market is doing. So what we've got here is the same range. Okay, this is the main range we're looking to play. And that is the January range last month. And I told that last week, marked that it's been doing nothing really. Okay, now when this starts distributing those, if it starts, and I think below here is where we're going to be looking at it. I think mid-range is the key level to be watching for possible longs. So possible like this. I don't know how long it deviates. If it deviates, great, because then we'll have a clear risk in validation. And then if it reclaims the game on, I'll probably look for a swing long. Or this could be a possible top in. And I'm going to give you my reasons why this could be a possible top in. But even if it's not, who cares? We don't know. We're still with trading levels. We'll be trading what the market tells us. If it evolves into something big, it does. If not, level to level. Easiest way out there. Despite me still saying, you know, it's been tricky, but I've held my stance. And I've said, clean break above here, then we will look for longs. Has it done it? No, it's been dropping now. So having said that, it's still there. Let's just quickly have a gander at the, let's look at the monthly. Monthly, where are you? We take our previous month's high. By default, would you agree it makes sense, even if it is going to go up, at least retest this, in my opinion, right? The main stops, the first set of main stops for a bear market rally have been taken, which are here. It doesn't have to take this out, okay? Going monthly, hardly any stops. Okay, this is small. But this was the main swing high. And if you look at the weekly, that was the main swing high, wasn't it? That been taken out. It can go up. I'm not saying you can't. Okay, we will have to see. We'll have to see what the ES does. But I'm looking at ES, there is a good case now because of the way ES went up and crypto and Bitcoin went up. There is a case for this being a possible top end. And this was the main stuff to look for. If you recall, down here, do you remember when I said, when we're looking for longs, this is the bare minimum I want to see taken for a bear market rally. Do you guys remember? And this is all extra. This is how deep they want to rip it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. However, at what point would I say, you know what, that is game one? It would have to be probably below here. So as you can see, if we look at this resistance, break above support, bear support, deviation, back down, resistance. If we were to get below here, that's game over in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think I'll stop. I think by then equities, I think towards here, at least here, first target, but then here we'll play it level to level. And then if it's really gonna come all the way here, most likely it's gonna go all the way back down. Or the other case is if it's really gonna be, and this is probably worse than a nuke. This sort of price action, I'd say, let's say this could just maintain the range for God knows how long, and that can be happening. So either we're going to nuke, depending on what the global macro says at the time, we'll be over it at the time. Our main targets will be hit. If it does smash below, we'll be over it as well. If it ranges, we'll be on that as well. We'll be observing traditional asset classes as well. I'll look at the bond market, etc. What they're doing. This could be the second case. Okay? This is worse than a fucking nuke. You know what I mean? Just up, down, a boring market, but it's great for us though, range-bound trading. Okay? This is great for us. These swings are quite significant. We'll probably make more in here than actually catching a nuke. It's actually safer, to be honest with you. I don't really look at that, to be honest with you. There's only so many markets I can look at, mate. There's only so many markets I can look at. I mean, people telling me all this alts, but realistically, let's ask yourself this question first and foremost. When you're trading, how many can you really look at? You'll see loads posting on Twitter, but that's just their bags they're holding that they don't trade, by the way. They've just bought them and they're just posting after a big run up. Most people are not trading on Twitter if they post lots of charts. I mean, we're focused on Ethereum or Bitcoin, and how the fuck are we going to manage Ethereum, Bitcoin when there's like 10 other alts you're looking at? It's kind of impossible, isn't it? Unless you can do it, happy days. But I can't. I tell you straight, I can't. I don't know any professional that can either. I mean, guys I work with, they get their markets and when they milk that, and every now and again they'll add another one or two. But I don't know how some of you these guys do it. Okay, better than me. I can't do it for sure. Yeah, I don't know how the hell people manage so many. There's a difference between the spot bags. Okay, long term, boom. I'd say you're not gonna really touch it. But margin trading, so many. I don't know. I don't think it's possible. I think people are just posting for cloud. So if you're getting FOMO because of that, they're not really trading. How serious can their trading really be? Think about it, okay? So, yeah, just don't get too overwhelmed when you see that shit. Anyway, let's carry on. Hang on, I was looking at something. Okay, so 2 charts of Bitcoin. One will start off with this January high. So that I've just set in the context there. Okay, so it can come towards here. This is the first region we'll be looking at. After that, we'll observe and then we'll take it. But even before that, we've got levels. So if we get below here, now if I take this level here to the left, let's see if there's any significance. Now that we've got more price action unfolded, you see that? Oh. No, 1 second. That there, that's like an overlap around about here, isn't it? And when it got below here last time, you know, it pushed lower, so that's a deviation area. The main play is after this play. If you haven't played this already, unless it can mix one candle towards here. In my opinion, the top of this, well, in my opinion, the high that caused the low, which this is going to be a magnified price, which usually is. And then if it gets back below here, I will go to detail in a minute. I'm just overlaying it. Zoomed out view. The mid-range. If it nukes the mid-range, we'll find a midpoint of this. Okay, we're going to half that, and then after we'll see, because that comes in line with our range. No, doesn't it? Right? Remember that That'll be the key. Now we'll see from here, does it, bounce? And yes, the orders I had for F, by the way, if you're watching this, I have cancelled them. I did say before, we'll watch it manually because as time evolves, ideas evolve as well. Okay. And then we'll see all just go down. We'll deal with that then. But this is, we will see. And the range level that lies there, we'll be looking at that. Okay. So having said that, is everybody clear with the general picture? And obviously, above here, it most likely, break and hold above, we'll probably go for these lows, and maybe some gap fill there and then there. We'll see when the time comes. But if this is going to be a nuke, if it's a slow bleed lower, that's dangerous. If it's a fast nuke, that's great. Slow bleed lower, that's proper selling, that is. That's proper selling pressure. But anyways, let's get back to business now. Let's carry on now. 1 second. One second. Okay, so the other entry we spoke about for this was here. So once go back, it blew me out. It stops at break even at this point. And then it was just a stop run. Now we can't really do much if it's a stop run environment. I mean, it is where it is. Okay, so that's why I had a wider stop run. The initial trade is around 23.7. That would have been safe. But it nuked. We took first the entry, we was around here, I think. And then the rest trailed out. But it's a tricky market. Johnson said, okay, if that's the case, once it hit the deviation, there you got your trigger. There's a trigger there. Just keep a hard violation level there. And now it should be at break even. Okay, or at least trim some off. Okay, so if you've taken that, trim some off. Now what do we do now is the question. Okay, that's done. That's done now. Don't worry about it. Well, if I want to enter a swing trade, okay, based on invalidation, now we're going to go to the smaller charts, okay, in a second. Swing trade is minimum here. We retested these lows. That's valid. Hard invalidation there. Target 1. As soon as target 1 gets stops at break even, target 2 would be the high that caused the low, which is the top of this consolidation, okay? Okay, takes a while, and then the mid-range. Because the reason why I say that is because these are potential target areas, so I have to mention them all. It could reverse off any of these, okay? But that would be target, and the main target there then. So I'll take off, it depends on how you want to do it, okay? Maybe a third there, and then the second third split it between these two, and then the last third there. It's up to you how you wish to do it. There's no right or wrong way. Because sometimes, say if it's gonna come here, and then reclaim this, if we reclaim this, I'm out of all of the position then, okay? Does that make sense? So if it was to come here, and then reclaim after hitting the key level, because that is the high that caused the low, if you recall, same area, then I would exit all positions, and I'll wait, okay? I'll see what it gives us, we'll update when the time comes, but that would be if you can't trade, you can't set the chart all day, perfectly fine, nothing wrong with that. Is that clear? Then we go into the day traders, smaller time frame ones. Yeah? Okay, that should be straightforward. Be right back, I'm going to go for a piss. I just drank a lot of coffee and I'll go for a piss. 1 second. Right, okay, I'm back. Is audio here? Yep, I'm gonna press the record button. Can you guys hear me before I continue? Okay, recording on. Okay, so that's the easy play. The other chart was this range level chart. You all know this was the Asian quant one, where we used this yearly level. Okay, so we used them in confluence. So if we look at the 12 month, this was the beauty. This is where we caught the long. And remember what I said. The main target is going to be the 22.90 range level. Look how beautifully that is. On a quarterly, that is it. That's the yearly chart. That yearly high to that yearly low. This was the mid-range. That's where we took the long. Okay, now, if it makes a clean break above here, this is the next target, 26.110. We'll go for the yearly candle bottom there, and then there. And then we'll see what happens after that. So above here, yes, we will, because this is one half of that section, and this is the other section, okay? And that was the main target, if you recall. Now, we didn't play the whole thing. We caught a lion's share, and we're done with that, okay? I thought it would pull back some. It just takes us by surprise sometimes, okay? But it is where it is. So remember this chart now. If it's going to be a reaction, it's going to be at these levels. Now, on the lower time frame, it may look like, oh, it's gone up a bit. But remember, that's a yearly level. You're going to get some sort of deviation, etc. Now, if I was to use this as a half, if you knew you're going to have to, then I can't get there, but there, that is now broken down for me. So if I was to take a short, for confluence purposes, I'm looking at this, a trend line break. Hard invalidation there, but if it was to reclaim and hold above, we'll look to cut it early. Hard invalidation because the nature of Bitcoin is not clean in the sense where it'll just go down and spike you out many times. So I'd rather go the widest stop. This is the next range level, which lines up with the high that caused the low. So that's next target. After that, this will be an objective, 19,730, but we'll go for the mid-range on the other chart, January's mid-range, as an earlier target. But that's just confluence. So see the confluence with these two levels? That is the next range, in my opinion. Fill this in. There's some gaps to be filled in. That would also reset everybody. Now, we'll see if this is a long one. I don't know. But we'll deal with that if or when the time comes. If it breaks below here, we'll deal with that. If it goes towards here or not. But this would be the main area. Does that make sense? So if I was to take a short, it is a valid swing short. I'll keep a hard stop there. If it was a reclaim and hold, then I'll look to scale out. Maybe half or the whole thing, and then observe if there's longs. Now, for the long side, what would I look for before I go into the smaller charts? I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really have a clean one, but what I would say is I'll be updating on when the time comes. But if I say that, so this, I'd want this sort of price. So that's the SR level there. Something like this. This is just a brief one for now. But if it was to go up here, I'll see it could be another deviation. That's why I'm keeping the hard stop there. If it was to then reclaim and hold, I'll look at the other rest of the market. That would probably be a long, but I'll update when the time comes. I don't know clearly. Probably got invalidation over there. Target, and then target there. Okay? And then the higher up ones. But let's just go for this one now. If for some reason you miss it, no problem. We'll take the one above the January's high. Okay? We'll deal with that if or when the time comes. Just to briefly outline that kind of setup. If we're saying this is the next objective, I mean, this shouldn't be an issue by that point. We should be blasting through that. But let's just see, there's a little low there. It lines up with that. Okay. Then we've got this. Each level is going to be significant because we don't know it can reverse for any. But something like this, if you want a simplified version, break and hold above January's high, then I will look for longs. Okay. This is the easiest setup. At that point, I don't even care about that level. Most likely, if it consolidated for this long, most likely we should blast through that. Okay. We'll see, obviously, it is significant, but we're well above. Consolidation, right at resistance, that usually means it's going to be a bigger move. And then here, and then there. Is that clear for everybody? Does that make sense? That is probably going to sum up the overall crypto view for us. Clear? Now, okay, that's about it. So let me just run over the smaller time frame charts. I mean, at this point, I think these time frame charts are a lot cleaner to work with in this environment. As you've seen yourself, when it starts trending, then we can use tighter stops. But when it's like this, it's not easy. We get like fucked up SS. What have you been doing, SS? Nope. Yeah, okay. So the other range level chart is the July one, if you remember. They really cut the market, didn't it? Let's look at this. Where did I get this from again? There's so many range. I'm losing control. Yeah. That was this monthly. Remember, I chose this monthly low. I've explained this previous reviews. And then this was the first high formed in July. Okay. Before that, ultimate high. There's a high there. If you look at the lower time frame, and I went with that there, as you can see. And we've hit that high perfectly, and then reversed. That's why we took the swing short there, remember? Which lined it with January's high as well. So using this range level chart, okay, the confluence, again, the midpoint of that lines up with that. So there might be some reaction there. So I would say, again, it's the same thing really. If a lower time frame chart, if it does something like this, and then break below, that's if you want a quicker, tighter one. If you're not happy there, this is what you look for, and target 1, target 2. Otherwise, if it does this, so we got this swing low here. Okay, let's tap in the downside. If it doesn't give you that, if you look for really tight stuff, break down. So support become resistance play basically towards there, and then maybe towards there, maybe towards there. But that would be the main target, as that's the overlap level across many. So we now do Monday's low and took out last week's low. You don't pay much out. Now, in the context of things, no, on its own merit, maybe, but because the context is saying a higher time frame, which is saying different, you don't need to pay too much attention to the Monday's range in that sense. Because I mean, we've already got a higher time frame range established, so higher time frame always takes precedence. Now, if we did on the higher time frame get back above the key level, then the Monday's range would be significant, or you can use that as a tool for timing the entry back in the range. Does that make sense? So in this case, using for the Monday's range, the question was, I mean, that's a key high time level. One little Monday's range means nothing, when on the daily, we're starting to break down now, aren't we? As you can see. So that takes more precedence over the Monday's range. Make sense? Okay, so if we're going to use that, because the Monday's range on its own doesn't mean much, the higher time frame must align. So yeah, I think, yeah, you know the short plan for that. So yeah, it doesn't really mean much because of all this that's happened already there. But yes, if it did break back above, so what we do in that case, session breaks, where's the Monday, Tuesday, then that would be important. So let's just treat this because that was the initial low. And if it was to do something like this, so that's the move back above Monday, and I think like that would be the one then. Maybe so run here and run there and cut the T break below. And then that would be it. Okay? And then you can say Monday's range then is capping the downside. But for me, the higher time frame is more powerful at the moment than that. Okay, let's move forward now. Too much of that. I think that more or less sums it. I don't need to keep repeating that. Sometimes keeping it simpler is the easier way. Okay, let's move forward to Ethereum now. Similar thing with Ethereum. Well, this is a different chart, but we'll use this. January's high is the same thing. And it's been a bit choppy, but sometimes distribution takes time. Now, another example of distribution is a bit here, isn't it? Look at it, it took the piss. But once it gets back below that, it usually should come towards here. Now, if you're not already on board this, I'm already on board from here. I posted yesterday, cutting back above. Stops are flat now, okay? What would I do if I'm not already on board? There's two options. One is the pullback plan, okay? As long as we don't smash back above, it's still good. If it does smash above, I will be ready for longs. I'm not going to keep shorting. I'm only shorting because that resistance. That's why every time we come to this area, we short it. I mean, we seem to think we're shorting at the bottom. We're shorting right at range height, and we made decent money. So what I would look for, there's the stops. There's possibly an area to retest. Now, if it does a rally up, wait for it to deviate back below that trend line. Trigger, target 1 area, which is the range level, towards this region. This region is target 1 area, target 2 there, okay? And then target 3 and 1435 level, okay? But it's the main area. It takes them off, it moves stops break even. Now, if it dumps from here, we're going to play the trend continuation plan. Now, if I simplify this down, if you're going to look at it from a simple perspective, it is sort of like a distributive pattern. It's sort of, it's looking to me, can you see that? And we've taken out these main stops anyway here. Now, as long as we remain below here, that's kind of distribution to me, in my opinion. So this is going to be an objective area. Okay. Now, this is a simplified version I'm looking at. For whatever reason you miss it, that's always there for us. Okay. But what I'm looking at mainly would be the trend continuation plan. So this plan is there for us. Now, if it nukes from here, which it can do, okay, this doesn't have to go up. So you got the pullback play, break below here. That's the level capping. You see that there? There's a deviation of this level there. And then there's a short, cut on a clean break wherever the swing high is. Target 1, target 2, and then the mid-range, fill in this gap here. There. And then after, we'll see what happens after that. We don't know. I don't know anyway, but that's the plan. And if I was to miss this one, break back up, level to level. From there, target 1, target 2. I like these lows have been taken, a lot of stop trust in there. And then that's gentlemen. It could go lower. Well, we're sticking to what's high probability for now. We'll deal with the rest. If you're late, you're gonna have to watch the recording, mate. I'm good, thank you, Ad. How are you? How are you? Yes, it was good. It was a good break. Spain's a nice place. Really nice place. Yes, maybe we'll do some sort of meet up there one day. Once things are sorted. I'm waiting for the markets to collapse. Once the housing prices drop, we'll scoop up so many. I've already seen some properties, even in certain areas, when you see a property go up and it's still up for sale, in big areas, they probably won't even get listed. They'll get scooped up beforehand, behind the scenes. But in areas where properties are usually listed where they shouldn't be, that's a sign where, you know what, shit's hitting the fan. That's exit liquidity right there. They're trying to get the fuck out. So yeah, that's a little something somebody told me one day. But anyway, that's that there. I mean, we can ignore these range levels. They are not important. Let's stick to this one. Is that clear for F? Obviously, for the long plan, 1784 is this monthly level that high there. So if this something like this happens, similar to Bitcoin, I'm not happy long in here. I've given you my reasons why. Yeah, little scalps up. Well, I'm not talking about scalp. I'm talking about more directional plays. Okay. Even if we consider this is quite a significant move. A significant dollar move, $60, $70 downside. That's significant. But yeah, if it does this and hold, okay, game on, it's long. Hold there, and then we'll see how high it goes up. That's the main target. Then maybe 1850, 2030. But this is the main target next. We'll deal with the rest if or when the time comes. No, buying it. I'm not renting it up. I'm buying it all up. You think I'm sitting on a shitload of cash? Buying the whole thing up. My personal one, I don't rent out. Nobody. But others, I may do. I may do 2 others, but it depends. I mean, there's plans I've made for that already. But I'm probably going to look to buy a half of Birmingham. Joke. Maybe Belfast. Belfast is a lot cheaper. Plus the Irish are easy to deal with. Anyways, try renting out your fucking packies. Okay, now they destroy your fucking ass. Anyways, and I'm packing myself, by the way, so yeah, can't be called racist. Anyways, next up, we do gold. No. Litecoin, now, Litecoin son of it did trail me at break even. I did a small position again, but I won't be actively in this now. I personally be more active in Bitcoin Ethereum. Okay, just letting everybody know. I just prefer those plays. Litecoin I do like when it moves. So if not already on board, what you want to do, oh shit, I had a level marked up. There we are. Good girl. There we are. So what we're going to be looking for is maybe a little pop-up. Break below this trend line. Trigger. Cut in the clean break above. Target. Now you can go for these small targets as well. If you like, maybe towards here if you like. That's the SR flip area, right? You can go there if you trim some off. There. And then towards here. Okay? Because that's where the next leg started from. There'll be big stops resting below here. Is that clear? Does that make sense? So that's Litecoin. If you wish to enter a bit early, I'll still cut in the clean break above here. Okay? Ultimately, if you want to be a swing trade, that original stop at 106. That's why I kept it at 106 in case it did do that. See, when it's distributing or it's forming double top, it can squeeze a bit higher. So I had to cater for that. Okay. So there's that there. So yeah, maybe wait for the top, maybe New York starts and then drop. If it gets back above this blue line, that is then a reclaim of, I mean, this is the key level here. Let's go for this key level. This is a reclaim of this key level there. Then we'll have to see what happens. I personally think it makes sense to at least come towards around this region as the previous SR high. Okay, and after that we'll see, because it could come towards this area here, something like this. If it is going to bottom, so one thing we'll be doing is if it does break back below, we'll be looking for something like this. So see this one, because technically this would be a range. Okay, that's a deviation. This is the range. Oopsie daisy, let's do it neatly. This is a range. Okay, so we've got two ranges now, and this is the range. That's a deviation. So if you were to do this and say Bitcoin came to like one of the key levels for a possible flip, we'd be looking at something like Litecoin. It's still one of the major ones. We can't deny that. No matter what you think of it, it's still good for trading, good for speculation, decent volume. Okay, then you wait for the reclaim. We'll see, is F doing the same? Is Bitcoin doing the same? If it is, game back on, head towards there. Does that make sense? We'll see though at the time. We'll see at the time. But that's why I think this is a good area to target. There's targets along the way. You're watching that. You missed the oopsie daisy last week. Do you have oopsie daisy withdrawals, huh? I got you guys on some ASMR shit, haven't I? Yeah, that comes in line with the mid-range area as well. If I was to look at this as a whole leg, yeah, decent. Yeah, that's 50% of the range, isn't it? And if you look at that, actually look at this. I know it's messy chart. You got 25% area, 50% area, beautiful. 75%. That's actually a decent target area. Okay, so that's that there. Okay, that's Litecoin done. SHIB, well, stop break even. Trips on the first area has been hit. That's that first area, top of the consolidation. So that shit, I thought was fucking funny the fuck out of that, wasn't it? But it was gonna go down anyway. Not as if I can move that son of a bitch. I gotta do an update chart on that. But yeah, first target's been hit. I'll update the numbers after this. Actually, let me do it now before I forget. Hang on. Bear with me. I'm just gonna quickly update these guys. It's not fair for the content. I went here. Too much girth on that. We'll remove the girth. Okay. Bear with me. Just updating the members. You want to subscribe to SZASMR? Oh. You know, I used to get some weirdos who saying, I love the way you smoke. And they made a little clip of me smoking and added together. Like, you fucking weirdos, get the fire, block them. You son of a bitch. You don't know what the fuck these guys are doing, man. Son of a bitch, here recorded me smoking. I says, I don't know what he does. Like, yo. That's some freaky shit, man. That's probably the type of guy, yeah, that like sits at the end of your bedroom, yeah, in the night, hiding in the cupboard, and just tries says yes, in the middle of the night or something. No creepy noises. Who the fuck does that? And if you are gonna do it, don't tell me about it. You know what I mean? Oh, you fucking telling me? Oh, you don't text me either. I know you're in the chat. See, now she did. Oh, cheeky. Okay. goes is part of the kink. Part of the kink. Yo, starting to worry me, boss. What's going on? Okay, let's resume. Okay, so that's T1 hit. Okay, now, if not already on board, watch this. What you want to be paying attention to is the dealer gun. It's taking ages. These can be considered as deviations. That's a bit of an odd one. There. So what you want to be waiting for, possibly, is, I mean, even if it doesn't, if you play a bounce, then once it gets back below here, look for the short here, cut to the clean break above, whatever that swing high is, and then go towards here. And I like, toward this as next target. And then if you really want to go for the next targets, I mean, this is some wonky pair, this is. But towards here, that's now we can say it's really low, really. Why this is really low? Well, as you can see, support, support, support. You can see, well, there's a bit of a mess there. Resistance. The target 1, target 2, that's trend continuation. Clear? That's about it. Don't overthink it. If it gets above here, okay, we've got stop break even now. We don't have to worry. Okay? That's that. Okay, so that's that done. That's about it for crypto. Okay, I'll do the one matic, but I'm not going to do the list. Again, I'll need Bitcoin to drop. Once Bitcoin breaks down, then we can do the rest. These alts are doing their own thing. I don't trust any of these alt moves. Yes, Matic's doing its own thing and it looks strong, but with my view on Bitcoin, I don't really want to be shorting this, longing this. So this could go on and Bitcoin could still go up, but my thesis is working for me personally. So this is where you're either going to have to ignore what Bitcoin's doing. And for the reasons I've given is why I'm bearish Bitcoin. Okay. And I will be ready to flip. And if this is on its own merit, then that's something you have to decide for yourself. It's not something I personally want to trade. However, if this was a shorting scenario, this is, I mean, this region is a resistance area. All right. If it did do this, now this could still go on its own. And some of the alts have been doing their own thing. So you can't really, they're not doing, not everything's following each other plan. So once Bitcoin starts trending, which I believe, if correct, we should start soon, then they all will collapse. So we look for a deviation like this. So if you want to long till you're wrong, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But something like this, and then short that fucker up down towards target 1, maybe target 2, top of this range towards these lovely stops resting below here. Target area, and that's the trigger there. If Bitcoin does smash above and say this was trigger planning, here's the trigger plan. I mean, it's right at resistance right now. It was range and then reclaim and hold. And okay, towards here. First target, bottom of this consolidation, and then towards there. Does that make sense? I got out my Tesla long. I don't really trade stocks often. That one was just so easy. Let me look at Tesla. I don't really, I mean, when the time comes, I will be trading stocks. So, yeah, okay, I caught a decent move. This is where I longed it from. But yeah, it's that resistance right now. So we're going to go to some equities right now. So is everybody clear with crypto for now? But yeah, bank something along the way if you're still holding it, or at least trail your stops, okay? Don't give everything back. But yeah, it could go up, but for me, this is a clear resistance region now. I mean, this was the minimum resistance because that was the early level. This is a big resistance region now. So just be careful, okay? But yeah, good play. I mean, long tail. Once the overmarket, then we'll be doing lots of stocks. Then you pick which one you want. But that's when the big bottom happens, okay? For now, this is still distribution, really. Think about it. Unless the odd stocks will be the own thing. This is where I'm not an expert at stocks. Okay, I have my area and I stick to my area. I mean, this will still keep going up. I'm not an expert, just make sure. I'll do the chart for it, but when you're going to ask me about the FA for it, no. I don't know. But this was an obvious long, and I was expecting the bounce on equities anyway. Plus, it was a bit of a hedge when I was looking for short. But yeah, that's that there. Okay, let's carry on now. That's crypto done. Okay. Now, dollar. Now, before we do that, Forex Factory, we'll whisk through this. It's not complicated. Okay. Today, am I in sync with the time? Yes. So this week's coming to an end. Next week's going to be an important one. Next week's the one. So my timing for the break was perfect. It was a shit market anyway. Now we come back, we're starting to move. Next week's going to be the one, second week of the month. Proper week anyway. CPI. We'll be watching that. Core retail sales. But we will still trade the range. So today, has Sterling done a monetary policy? Yep. It's done it. Unemployment claims, yeah, I'm not seeing mover, but if market's going to move, it's going to move anyway. So, not much to say on that. Dollar index now. So we're going to be looking, December's was copying it, but there's another dollar index chart I'm looking at. That is here. So these are the range levels you already know. So if you're new, you're going to have to watch. Yes, if he exploded, then thanks. But I'm out of my Tesla, by the way. So yeah, if everything's going to drop, then at least take something off. Don't be holding the whole position or trail your stops out. That's the best option, depending on how you're playing it. But yeah, so the minimum, okay, we've already discussed for the dollar index. I still think Asia makes one more low toward the mid-range, or this could be a possible low in, or it could make more. I don't know. But for now, I think it squeezes up a bit. It makes more sense. Okay, now, I could be wrong. That's fine. We've got trigger plans in place. Looking at the FX majors, sort of suggests it. Now, obviously, we're going to get some sort of resistance there. So the next area would be something like this. Now, we're going to cover this now. Like this. Maybe squeeze up. I don't know how deep it's going to go. And then resume, maybe. And then weeks and weeks and weeks. Something like that makes more sense to me personally. Now, what makes sense to me and what the market does are two separate things. Now, where's this guy gone? No obvious texting. Okay, so that's that swing failure there. So if you come back below here, okay, we'll shift the view. Now, my view is sort of backed up by the FX majors as well. What do I mean by that? Okay. Well, I mean, 1 second, let me just do this job. Okay, so what I'm looking for that is two plays. Now, if it's going to be trend continuation, it can go up from here. The basic one I'm looking at, okay, the basic one is a retest of the range level. So we've got that there. Come towards here. Okay, that's the deeper pullback. But I'm looking at FX majors. We may not get that. Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Okay, back to FX now. Everybody got on FX. Don't read that much of FX anyway, so thank you. See, I think we got Hamza here. What a legend. Okay, so what we got here is, I'm really bad at this. From now on, I'm just going to let everything record, even the shit talk. And I'm going to give you a reason why I don't think it actually might come here. Okay, I'm going to give you my reason why. So, but if it does, here, reclaim, I say long, play towards here, that's first resistance, and the second resistance there. It may go higher, but that's the next range level. Okay, so as long as we hold above here, if it's not breaking down below here, I'll observe what we got to work with. Okay, further downside. Now, what if it doesn't? Okay, so what we're going to be using is what if, well, it's retested at minimum level, which is there, and it's taken out some stops there. Okay, I'm going to do dollar yen as well, don't worry. So in that case, I mean, we're not going to be long in the dollar index, by the way. We're doing this just to see, because everybody will bend the knee to this. But if this gets triggered, then that by default means got triggers on the FX majors. Okay, so if you understand this, you'll understand the rest. If it goes back above here and holds, yeah, I see long, maybe there's a level there towards here, and then possibly towards there. But we go for minimum areas, the bottom of the consolidation, fill all this in. Does that make sense? So either the deep pullback or this is the trend continuation. Clear? Now let's go on to the FX majors. I really like cable, by the way. cable. What a play cable has been. Did you guys catch this move? If you didn't catch it from here, okay, I did give them violations. You had this there. The euro was even cleaner. The euro USD was here. The retest there. Okay. Break of the trend line. There's the retest. Invalidation. All in the review. Target 1 area and target 2 area. So that's all in the review. If he was, no, but technically at time. Now, what do I mean by that? I had this drawn out. I had the same trend line drawn out. Okay, first I got the deviation, but this time around, there was no excuse for this one. It took out these stops. So when it gets back below here, you got minimum entry, haven't you? If your target's good enough. Okay, if you didn't take it there, you had to retest it. That's your violation regardless, isn't it? You had a couple of hours. You had a good couple of hours. Because once those stops have been taken from that side, there's a hard violation. If it's going to reclaim back above here, then you're obviously going to cut it. But you had plenty of time. Let's see where those that watch the videos are going to nail it. Okay? And one of the guys did take it based off that. He went on a 1 minute, but the context was still this. That's why he had to stop there. So I can't remember, which one of you led to Ryokyo? I don't know. Can't remember the name. But yeah, he took the exact same one I took. Towards here. And then bottom of this. Okay? Yeah, there you are. See? You watch the video. I know you watch the videos. One of the ones always posting charts. So he puts in hard work. I like this guy. So with this one, June high. Now this becomes a bigger deviation now. Okay? Now the question is, now I prefer the cable setup personally. It's cleaner. But the first target is going to be here. And second target is going to be there. This is the consolidation. Okay? Now, either go with the trigger with the dollar index. Okay? Yeah, sorry, I'm bad with names. But yeah. Steve Aoki. I'm going to call you Steve Aoki. It's easier. So, Pete will do. Okay, Pete. That's better. Okay. Well, good work anyway. You do. I see the hard work you do. So good luck. We got this here. That's a bare minimum for the trigger. Remember the dollar index? Now, there's two plays here. One, the trend continuation. One is aggressive. Now, if you want to play aggressive, we will outline this right now. Aggressive will be entering a small position here. Okay? Cutting the clean break above the blue box, wait for the deep pullback scenario that the dollar index gives. That's cleaner right now to me, and then add it. So if you enter like a half a position, third position, cutting the clean break above here, because that's a reclaim of June's high. We don't want that. Okay? The other is, okay, for this one, I want to add the rest later on, no problem. Wait for it, they do this thing, you know, that's creating a range right now, deviation. The next breakdown should hold, short, targets, if it bounces, cut it, and then let's do his thing. If it gets back below here, short again, down towards there. Now this is not my favorite one. I'm going to go to my favorite one in a minute. But that's the play. Okay? Straightforward. Does that make sense? Is everybody clear with that? Looks a bit like distributive to me anyway. If I was to do this, something look a bit distributive. Whatever the word is. Am I using the word right? I'm using words out of context. But fuck it. Here we go. Just say shit. A bit something like that, isn't it? Yeah, like that. Yeah, so this can be his confluence. Why not? Okay. Let's do this thing. Take on the minimum stops. Breakdown. Trigger. Okay, scalp targets. Cut a violation. Boom. There you go. That's how straightforward it is sometimes in FX. Because once the dollar, you know what's going on with the dollar, you know the rest. Cable now. Cable's at the bare minimum. This is a key level there. Now, ideally, I would like to let it pop a bit up towards here. Whether we get it or not is a different question. Have to wait. And then break back below. So the detailed breakdown of cables that has been done in the previous review, I won't repeat that. It's the same. Nothing's happened really. It's just been stuck in the same range. So if you watch if you want to know the higher time frame, watch the previous ones. Just watch the cable part. You'll understand exactly what I mean. But I won't be repeating it because there's no need. There. Down towards there. And if you look at it from this perspective, it's a range, isn't it? Range high. Let's call this as our range low area. I'm eyeballing it. No, okay, maybe not. It depends where you draw your range. So, I mean, one can draw this range, right? And I'll tell you why this range. That can be, this one can be the extreme end of the range. So this will be the extreme end. This technically, that's the range high. That's a deviation. That's a deviation. So mid-range lines up around here, doesn't it? You're eyeballing it there. And market proves that by resistance, support, deviation, support, resistance. There. So let it do its thing. Get the fuck back below. Trendline break at confluence over aesthetics. Back down towards here, possibly towards there. Now, I've done a different chart as well. Let's see if that plays in confluence. Please tell me I've got the right feed. I need the right feed for this one. Please tell me. Yes, November's high. November's high. Go down on a 6 hour. I've got November's range. Okay. Long term, if dollar really does go for it, towards here, that play will come into fruition. So that's a range level. So let's do this thing. That's the early open as well. So you're taking below the yellow. Could this be a early high? This is what I'm thinking. The dollar could possibly have bottomed. There's a case for it. Okay, I'll go to ES in a minute. But that's going to be the main target anyway, as you can see. So that's where the confluence for the setup. The other one is, I mean, if you really miss it, well, break down below. Hold, we'll see what we've got to work with. And short from there towards target. That's a separate one there. So this is just for confluence purposes. If you want to roll it on a separate chart, you're welcome to do so. Aussie dollar now. So I'm going to go to Aussie dollar. If you look at this, this was a range for months and months and months and months. Okay? Many, many months. We're retesting the bottom end. Last time we retested the bottom end, look at that sell-off. We're retesting it again. With a swing failure there, it's already shown significant selling. When I look for a big target, which look for a level to level, if it evolves, it evolves. We will get on board. So when I look at this 2020 open, I've left it there. I mean, it was there before, but it's proven itself to be key. Tap team area. So if we can pop, drop, deviate, trigger, cutting team above there, make trend line target, and that's what we're looking for, a range play. Okay? For aggressive traders, I mean, if you want to enter a bit earlier, I mean, the only validation I've got to work with is there really. If I want to do small size and then let it do its thing and confirm, you can add it, that's fine. If you do small size, I mean, it may be 1-to-1, but you don't miss out on the move. But do small and then wait for it to confirm the plan by pulling back below, then you can add the rest on and try to stop. Because sometimes if it's in an environment like this, you can just go in one go. Okay? But otherwise, just wait, relax. There's plenty more setups, not just this. Let's go on to dollar yen. Then we'll do ES. ES is not really on my radar hardcore right now. The time and place for it, it's not really like my favorable one right now. So dollar yen. Okay, let's see. Now, there's two ways to look at dollar yen. I mean, okay, you could do this. It doesn't have to. It's on the minimum, okay? If it reclaims and holds, there's the deviation. I posted this on the members feed. And there's the alarm. Content team record of the lowest towards your target one, and then there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly flip to 6J. So now 6J gives the cleaner setup, which is the inverse of the dollar yen. It's just the yen part of it. Now, 6J is there. So this will be it. 6J is below the mid-range already. Okay? And this would be an objective here. So if this gives you the trigger, then you got the trigger on dollar yen, technically, haven't you? So we got this. And this is 2022 mid-range. So 2022 range high, range low, mid-range. I've done that for 6J. And there, by default, you'll have the trigger on dollar yen towards here, target one, and towards here. We'll see what happens after that. Just a zoomed out view of this. It's 2022 high, 2022 low. It's around the mid-range. Now, if 6J does go back above here, that's going to be mega shorts on dollar yen. If it does that, then we'll deal with that when the time comes. Okay, I'll not worry about that. I think they'll probably cap it here, but we'll see. Okay, but that's a long time away. For now, it's breaking down. We've got no reason to believe otherwise. Straightforward. Is everybody clear with that? We'll do gold. Gold was a lovely play. And then we'll do the rest. So gold, one of the gold setups was if you missed all of whatever I mentioned, we've always got this clean setup here. depending on how you draw a trend line. Like this. Now, where do I think gold's going to go? Let me add the levels in. So around this region here, so top of that consolidation. Okay, roger that. I'm going to keep gold really simple. Target 1. High towards the low, that's target 2. And there. Keep it really simple. Really, really simple. I don't think it'll pull back towards here. But what I do think is pop, drop, trigger, cut on the clean break above, target 1, target 2, target 3, T1, T2, T3. That's the easiest setup. Now that is based around the levels we mentioned, by the way. Anyway, okay? But this was the setup if you paid attention to the reviews, okay? Okay, take care, traders at edge. That would be the trigger plan. That's what I'm waiting for. Is that clear? Because I don't believe it will go all the way up there. If it does, I'll post a chart for it when the time comes. Clear? Okay, that's done. Let's go on to ES. Now, ES is a bit, I think it's a bit weird for me right now. I will come back to this. I thought it was going to push up, but the market changed. If you're on, just in case it happens, run these lows. I still have these lows, and then reclaim. That's a range high, range low. Is a trigger, invalidation, target, target. If that happens, I thought it was going to go up from here, but things changed, and there was no trigger anyway. But yeah, let's see if we can do that. Moving on now to ES. I mean, what can I say about ES? You can short till you're wrong on this time setup. It's a bit of a tricky one. I don't like the fact that you keep coming back above here, and I do not have a crystal view on this right now. But one of the reasons why I think it could have possibly, there is a case for it. Let's just put it that way. Now, it is or isn't. These stops have been taken as close enough to the mid-range. Okay, so that was actually the original setup for the long ones that did. Take out these highs. Now, what I was originally looking for, which could still happen, okay, and this could just be another case of keep being range bound. By the way, okay, it's technically between the mid-range here. I'll call it June high to this low. Really, that's the range. And I could carry on for the rest of the year. There's no reason why you can't. That is proper fuckeries. But what I was looking for was running to there. And then if that was to ever happen, I'd be smacking this short. I'd probably look for something there at the time. I don't have that now. But that's the main play. Back towards your target. Target, target. And that's just playing ping pong till you're wrong. After the deviation. Now, another case is we've taken the minimum stops already. Okay? So, and it's sort of looking like it's winding up, winding up, winding up. Okay? So if you want to wait for this, and this is where the range levels come in, I'd probably wait probably back towards here. This is the conservative setup. That will sort of confirm our risk off just towards this range lows. Now that lines up with, see, I don't have a long here because of where they are. September's range levels. So what I've done here is September's high, September's low or the bottom, September's mid-range, okay? And that's the midpoint of that. Oops, daisy, oops. And that is the midpoint of that. So you can short, cut the clean break above, target, which it did, or it did that. Or wait for this. So this is the easy setup for the confluence purposes. If it was to break below here, I'll grab the setup in here in a minute. Break below, that's a deviation. Cut trigger, cut the clean break over the highest. Target 1, target 2, target 3. Okay? And every time it comes off of there, what does it do? It comes towards mid-range. Comes off September's high, goes towards mid-range. Why can't it do it here? Okay, because if you're wrong, we'll know we're wrong. Okay? We'll know we're wrong. So if it does this, oopsie daisy, this is scrunch this chart up a bit. Objective is going to be here then, isn't it? More or less. I mean, we go for the base of this and then the top of this. So if it does that, now what we could get is a bit of a fake out above. If it breaks above and starts establishing support and holds, continue below, target, target. That's clear forward. We'll see what Bitcoin, etc. are doing as well. I'm going to say this clear is at my favorite right now. Now, for the shorter term place, look at this smack is short here, more or less. Okay, it's like yesterday. Should have been a cushion. If you reclaim and Holzbach, cut it, so keep a hard stop there. Target one, target, each range level is objective basically. You can play like that, that's fair play. Now, if you want to zoom in a bit, do we have some sort of intraday price action? Now, this is my first time looking at it properly. If you don't like it, if you're going to do it here, do small, and then the main play below here, in my opinion. But it's at that point where it's not very fucking clear to me. And I'm playing ping pong to the wrong. Okay? It's quite messy, isn't it? It really is a bit messy. So yeah, I'm going to stick with the cleaner place for now. But I'm personally going to be going for the play below here. I've got a small short from yesterday there. It's literally a third of a size. I'm not doing anything big. I focus on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and what Cable and Aussie. Those are the ones I'm sitting on. Yeah, fuck Cable, fuck Woodsy. That's not a mad one. I don't know what the fuck that's on. I think most of the companies are denominated in dollars. So when dollar goes up, this goes up as well. Yeah, I'm going to be careful of Woodsy. Woodsy's in its own world. Let's not get involved in something that's on this mad one. Yeah, we'll stick to this now. Another one that's on a mad one is DAX. But when the proper risk off happen, they're all going to bend the knee anyway. Okay. That's not a mad one as well, isn't it? That's really a mad one. I don't have a clear plan here. I'm going to stick to US indices for now. Yeah, I really don't know what to do with this one, but that's okay. Not everything's going to be a trade idea. And this has reclaimed back above. But there's two ways of looking at this. There's a bit of a messy range right now. It's not as clean. And this is why I've backed off a bit from the indices to the clearer. But we can treat this obviously as our range low. And this is resistance area there. So can you see that? So this is probably more cleaner. It's using the A level as a mean level now. Whereas before, I would have said it's a reclaim if everybody else lined up with it. But you can't deny massive support this is. But after that, that's why it's been capped below there, hasn't it? And that's a deviation. Retest, retest. So, yeah. I mean, I would say hard invalidation there. But one scenario is deviate and then get back below. So trend line break. It's a short. Target 1, stop break even. Target 2, and that's a range play. Other than that, if it doesn't give you that, the trend continuation lower, because this could be a possible top in. We'll see, just observe. Just wait for the deviation below here. Let it do its thing. And if it gets back below, then you can short it. There. So waiting game. No, not yet. No, Aussie dollar myself. No, I'm waiting. If I'm missing, so what? Let's set up. So is that clear for everybody? And going to the VIX, I mean, VIX at these levels could show a proper possible bounce. Okay, so these are levels for a possible bounce for reclaims. But yeah, that's not as important for, right now. Is everybody clear with the plans? I think it's pretty straightforward. If it gives us the trigger, I did do gold. I already did gold. So you have to watch the recording for that. I've already done gold. Okay, so that's done. I'll catch you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Gold is in the recording.